Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we have a big character tease. We're also going to be talking about Jon Favreau, Obi-Wan Kenobi and more. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's get straight into it. We begin with a new tease for the return of a big character. Yesterday, StarWars.com posted an updated character intel article on Quinlan Vos, and many Star Wars fans were quick to note that the ending of the article seems to hint that we could see him very soon in an upcoming project and finally find out what happened to him after his presumed survival of Order 66. Now, while most of the information in this article is what we already knew, the wording of the conclusion, plus the timing of posting this article while we all anticipate trailers for The Bad Batch and Kenobi, might have been deliberate. So let's go through it and see what they had to say. Making his debut as a background character in the streets of Mos Espa in The Phantom Menace, Quinlan Vos' story developed in the Expanded Universe comics, where an affinity among fans quickly grew for the character. Recognizing the character's popularity in the Dark Horse Star Wars Republic comic series, George Lucas intended to bring Quinlan Vos in for the final episode of the prequels. Although the scene ultimately never made it into the film, he does return in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and is also a main character in Kirsty Golden's Dark Disciple novel. Quinlan Vos is a Kafar, a near-human species from the planet of Kifu, although Kafar can also be found on its twin planet, Kefex. What makes Quinlan Vos particularly captivating, though, is his unique Force ability known as psychometry. Through the Force, this talent allows Quinlan to touch an object and see an important event associated with it. However, only objects imprinted with a Force echo can provide him with these visions, and those echoes were only impressed onto objects that had witnessed a significant event. Without the Force, the imprint would not have been left, nor would a psychometry-abled person be able to see the imprint. Also known as postcognition or retrocognition, this ability could not be taught. Instead, it's an innate skill that the Force bestows upon few Force users. Towards the end of the Clone Wars, the Jedi Council tasked Quinlan Vos with hunting down and killing Count Dooku as a last resort to end the war. This mission would lead him to partnering with former Sith assassin Asajj Ventress. Over the course of a few months, the two of them ended up falling in love, but were ripped apart by Dooku's wickedness after Vos was captured by the Sith Lord. Dooku corrupted Vos, turning him to the dark side and making him an agent of the Separatist known as Admiral Enigma. While the mission was ultimately a failure, his bond with Asajj Ventress would bring Quinlan Vos back to the light, although Asajj Ventress died in a moment of self-sacrifice. Now, even though Quinlan Vos was cut from Revenge of the Sith, there is a mention in the film when Obi-Wan informs Anakin that Master Vos has moved his troops to Boss Pity. And this was one of the last updates the Jedi received about Vos before Order 66. And even though Vos's fate is unknown after the Great Jedi Purge, the Empire believed he had survived, and it's alluded to in the Vader comics. Now, these last few lines and the timing of this article initiated a range of theories in my head. Along with a few others, I believe they are setting up his return, and while in theory this could be in The Bad Batch Season 2 or Kenobi, I think they will do it in the Kenobi series. Making Star Wars recently leaked that Kumail Nanjiani would be playing a secret confidant of Obi-Wan and Bail Organa. Well, what if this character is Quinlan Vos, and that's how he plays into the show? Maybe in canon, after Order 66, he went into hiding, and he would be a great addition to the show and the post-prequel era generally. In Legends, of course, Quinlan Vos played a big role in the Battle of Kashyyyk, and when Order 66 was initiated, Quinlan Vos was on the Overseer's platform of a Juggernaut when a neighbouring tank fired on him and destroyed the tank he had been standing on at the time. Although he was believed to be dead, Vos emerged from the explosion, badly wounded but still alive. His right arm was bloody and broken, and his lungs were burnt. Upon learning of the betrayal of his troops, Quinlan Vos realised his priority was to survive in the jungles of Kashyyyk. But I think his survival in canon is going to be different, especially if he is going to play into the story of Obi-Wan, or alternatively, Clone Force 99. But what do you guys think of this? Was this a hint? Just a coincidence? And if we do see Quinlan Vos again, is it going to be animated in The Bad Batch, or is he going to appear in the Kenobi series? Let me know your thoughts of this in the comments down below. Now, before we move on, we do have some casting news for the Kenobi series. Paulo Kelly has been cast as a prisoner for 2 episodes, and Maurice Alvarez has been cast as a character called Niche. Now, if you're familiar with the X-Wing novels, then you'll know that Niche was the name of the mother of a Jedi called Corran Horn. But in my opinion, this niche is going to be a new character altogether, and they just used the name as a deep cut reference. And so finally, my dear friends, arguably the big story of the day, Jon Favreau has reportedly landed an insane new contract with Lucasfilm. The report comes from Puck News' Matthew Bellany, who shared new information on the Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau's contractual ties with Lucasfilm and Disney. Initially, if you remember, Jon Favreau and Lucasfilm only agreed to just one season of The Mandalorian, but following its enormous success, this became Season 2, The Book of Boba Fett, an upcoming Ahsoka series, The Mandalorian Season 3, and an ever-expanding Mandoverse, and both Favreau and Filoni are helming it. But it's reported that Favreau has impressed so much that he's now signed an insane deal to continue developing projects for the galaxy far, far away, and this is not limited to the Mandalorian universe. No further details were shared, but some sources report that we might see Favreau helming other series within the Star Wars universe, maybe even a trilogy or standalone movie. But what is clear is that Jon Favreau is not leaving Star Wars anytime soon. The opposite, he's driving the franchise in an exciting and brand new direction. And look, we've seen how impressive The Mandalorian is, The Book of Boba was, and if you ask me, I think it's only logical to give him more creative power and freedom at Lucasfilm. I would love to see what else he can do outside of the confines of this story in The Mandalorian. Whether that means he'll direct an episode or two of other shows, or write a new Star Wars movie, or maybe even be involved creatively somehow in other upcoming projects, Favreau's involvement is only a good thing for Star Wars, and when he's paired up with Dave Filoni, those two are a powerhouse. So whatever this insane new deal is, it's well deserved, and it's great to see Lucasfilm acknowledge the talent he's brought to Star Wars. You may even argue, as so many have, that he's saved the franchise. We know he's also heavily involved in the Marvel stuff, but this new contract could mean that his priorities will be predominantly with Star Wars, and I would say that's the best news of the day. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts of this and everything else we spoke about in the comments down below. If you liked this one, you know what to do. Please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and a huge welcome if you are. And as I always say, if you want more videos not found here on YouTube, the link to my Patreon is down there in the description. But until the next one, my dear friends, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.